Hello, my name is Darkmoon Doll, and I've noticed that a lot of people have been enjoying this new series of shows that I've been doing called Living Outside of Society's Norms. I recently got a comment on the latest Living Outside of Society's Norms show that I did about alcoholism. And I want to read to you guys this viewer's comment, because they're very concerned. So if you notice the title of this video, when you came to it, it says Living Outside of Society's Norms, Cannabis. So that's what today's topic is about. And it pertains to this comment that this viewer left for me. So I'm going to read this to you. The viewer says, I'm not sure if I'm addicted to weed or if I'm just trying to fit into society. I'm only 19. Most of everyone I know smokes, and I believe I enjoy it, but really, it puts me in a down, low state of life, and I even feel like it has ruined it in some aspects. I am an artist, and usually when I smoke weed, lose all of my creativity. Even with all these bad things, somehow I still end up smoking. It's not too bad as it sounds, but I don't want it to get worse. And I feel like if I cut weed out of my life, I would grow more as far as being successful. I really like your feeds, and you're one of the only people on YouTube that I can say doesn't sound like bullshit. If you or anyone else has any helpful advice, please reply to this. LOL. So, viewer or anybody else out there, you probably don't know this. I have another channel, and it's called the Productive Cannabis Connoisseur. And it's a channel where I talk to you all about why I partake in cannabis as a medical cannabis patient, and how I feel that when people do partake of cannabis, it can be a spiritual experience. And how it can be not so spiritual is when you're mixing cannabis with other intoxicating substances, say like alcohol. If you're smoking cannabis and drinking alcohol and hanging out in an environment of people that are just in a low vibration, then it'll bring your vibration down if you're a very sensitive person, which it sounds like you are. I'm not going to sit here and dog out cannabis, and I don't think that anybody should blame cannabis for anything that happened in their life, any of the struggles or the downfalls in your life. I don't think that you can blame it on just that one plant. If you are interested in taking it out of your life, go right ahead, see what happens, see if your life is more enhanced. I partake of cannabis on a regular basis as a medical cannabis patient, and I haven't found that cannabis has stunted my creativity. If anything, it's alleviated a lot of the things that I have to deal with on a daily basis. For instance, I was diagnosed with PTSD, I was diagnosed with arthritis in both my knees and ankles, social anxiety, and yes, so cannabis has been tremendously helpful for me in that aspect of alleviating all the conditions connected with those conditions. I mean, eliminating all the, the side effects, the things that you don't like from opioids. Like if I were to go to a doctor right now for my arthritis pain, they would just give me some pain medication. And the pain medication that they prescribe for me would be loaded with tons of side effects that I don't like. A lot of people first get introduced to cannabis within a group, like a peer group type of situation. A lot of times it's a party situation where there's other things going on, not only alcohol, maybe other harsh drugs involved as well. So maybe if you smoked by yourself and not around all of these people in a very peaceful environment, say in nature, isolated, or in a room peaceful and quiet and with some nice soothing music on, then you could tell the difference between whether or not you're feeling pressured to smoke cannabis, or if you're smoking it because you truly enjoy it. That's the best way that I can say to make decisions as far as cannabis goes. Just because everybody is smoking cannabis doesn't mean that you need to smoke it too. If you enjoy the healing benefits of this herb, you can feel free to partake in it. I guess I shouldn't say it too freely because not everywhere is cannabis legal medicinally or recreationally. So you want to be careful with that. But and you said you're 18 is what you said, or 19? Let's see, 19. You're almost 19. Yeah, a lot of times peer pressure can get to people and make them want to do things just because everybody else is doing it. So maybe take some time out and meditate by yourself without all these people around you so that you can really get in contact with your higher self. With or without cannabis, you can find a lot of clarity and a lot of focus when you take time out and be by yourself without all of these other energies around you that you may be very sensitive to. Let me see if I can find something else in here that I wanted to talk to you about regarding this comment you made. You said something about cutting weed out of your life. You think it would make you grow more, and as far as being successful, that hasn't stopped me from being successful with what I do, cannabis, and actually has helped me keep focus. A lot of times people can feel like cannabis is addictive because they're smoking the wrong strain for them. That could be the situation. And if you're living in a location where cannabis is illegal, then you have no way of knowing what strain it is that you're smoking. And you have no way of knowing exactly what people are putting in with your cannabis. So yeah, that's another thing to consider as far as addiction. Some people cut cannabis with tobacco, and then that makes it addictive because of not the cannabis, but because of the tobacco that's added to the cannabis. I would suggest too doing some research about the cannabis plant itself. Maybe get a book or two. A really good book is The Emperor Wears No Clothes, and it's by Jack Herer. I will put it in the video in the description below so you can look it up. I don't have the book on me. I borrowed the book from a friend years ago, and it has valuable information that not a lot of people know about cannabis and why it has been made illegal for so long, longer than alcohol prohibition. It's ridiculous because cannabis is it's not even lethal. I was going to say less lethal than alcohol, but it's not even lethal. If you eat like edibles, cannabis edibles, if you eat too many of them, you'll probably get panicky, you probably want to throw up, and then you'll sleep. But if you drink too much alcohol, you can get alcohol poisoning and you could die. So there's a very big difference between cannabis and all these other narcotics and drugs that a lot of times people want to put together. And I think the cannabis should be separate by itself. Cannabis for me has helped me with staying focused with my vision and my dream of creating art and sharing it with the world. And cannabis puts me in a very peaceful and more of an uplifted mood. I don't feel like I'm in a low mood like you say in your comment. I feel like I'm uplifted. So I'm wondering if you're mixing other things along with the cannabis, i.e. alcoholic beverages. Sometimes caffeine can really tremendously affect cannabis when you partake of it. Depends on who you are. So yeah, it all comes down to that. If you feel like it's a problem, then maybe it's a problem and you need to look at it. But look at it outside of your peer group. Look at it on an individual basis based on your own vision and on your own feelings, your own intuition about it. I'll show you something creative that I worked on a long time ago, and I continue to create art. And cannabis, it's like a gentle helper and guide is what I see it as for me. It helps me to relax. It helps me to alleviate all the pain and anxiety that I feel during the day, and it helps me to focus. So it may not be for everybody, but I think a lot of times people start to feel like they're addicted to cannabis because perhaps they're not educated enough about it, and that they're just only partaking in cannabis in large groups with peer groups, people feeling like you have to smoke. So I've never been in that situation before, so I have a little bit of tea before I show you what I'm going to show you. But yeah, cannabis keeps me creative. I've already been creative, but cannabis doesn't hinder my creativity. For instance, here's a painting that I did a while ago. It's called Shamaness, and I created it while partaking of cannabis, and it was a fun project, very fun. It made me feel, when I was partaking in the cannabis and painting this, it made me feel relaxed and focused, and filled with many ideas, and lots of creativity was flowing through me out onto the canvas. As you know, somebody had asked about this painting too, and I wanted to eventually show it again. I showed it once or twice on my Darkmoon Doll channel, this channel, and on my Productive Cannabis Connoisseur channel. So thought I'd show you again. Viewer who has this question, this comment, wondering or whether or not cannabis will stunt him from being creative and being successful in life. And I think that you can't, like I said, you can't blame it on the plant, I don't believe. If you feel like it is hindering your creativity, maybe try not smoking for a whole day and see how you feel. Does it make you feel any more creative? Try smoking for not smoking for a whole week and see the difference. So yeah, that's my creativity. Some of it, at least. And you can check out some of the other creative things I do on the Art Talk channel, the Art Talk show that I do on this channel. The benefits of cannabis have been, for me, it's tremendous. Like I said, I have PTSD. I have arthritis in both my knees and ankles. I have social anxiety. So when I go into public places, it's easier for me to just be relaxed and focus in on what I'm doing and not be overwhelmed by all the other things that are going on. And it really helps me. That's why a lot of people find it medicinally beneficial. And when people try to put the word recreational onto cannabis, for a lot of people it seems ridiculous because they find medicinal benefits from it every day when they use when they partake of this herb, this beautiful herb that I feel like that was sent down for us to partake of if we shall choose to. It's a choice, you know, and you don't have to feel like you have to do what everybody else is doing. And that is a part of living outside of society's norms, is making your own decisions based on your own instinct, based on what you know is going to be healthy for you. So I can't tell you whether or not to smoke cannabis or not. I can tell you that it's helped me tremendously. And if you want to learn more about it, like I said, get some really good books. Here's one book that I've talked about on the Productive Cannabis Connoisseur channel, where it's called The Cannabis Encyclopedia by Jorge Cervantes. Now, not only does this book talk about cannabis from A through Z, pretty much, but it also talks about medicinal cannabis, the way that people have found tremendous healing from it, and not used primarily like you would alcohol, like a recreational drug. It's a book just filled with, and it also shows you many things on how to take care of a plant. If you actually understand and get the science of cannabis itself, and you learn more about it, the health benefits, then you won't see it as something that you're addicted to. Maybe you'll see it as something that's beneficial to your health, and you can find out more about all the different strains. There's so many different strains of cannabis that exist in this world as we know it, and each strain is particular to a specific person. There's some strains that are CBD strains that are usually told to people who have epilepsy, who have anxiety and have paranoia, and they don't want to experience the euphoric feelings that you can get from a high THC strain. Although I have smoked a of course I have smoked a high THC strain, but I've smoked a CBD strain recently on the Productive Cannabis Connoisseur channel, and I did feel a little bit of euphoria, but that's another thing. You need to really, that's why I'm frustrated about the way the laws are throughout this world as far as cannabis goes, because people aren't able to get the true facts about this plant, and they're not able to explore different strains and having that available, different options, so that they're not just getting one aspect of this plant. Yeah, I can't tell you if you're addicted to cannabis. I just feel like maybe a lot of times people feel like they're addicted to cannabis and they're doing other things along with it. Maybe you want to try eliminating it from your everyday routine and just see what happens. Because it sounds like more to me that you feel like you're pressured to smoke because, you know, it's around you all the time. Get to know what the plant's all about. Maybe then that's where you can determine whether or not you're addicted to it. Look at it, study it, get books about it, find out what has been done with this plant in order to heal so many people. So thank you for joining me today for today's Living Outside of Society's Norms, talking specifically about cannabis and people feeling pressure to smoke cannabis. I've never had that pressure, and I've never had anybody pressure me to smoke cannabis. I've only had people pressure me to have a drink of alcohol, you know, of some alcoholic beverage. So I have never experienced that, but it seems like it's more of a peer pressure type of situation. So maybe it's something you need to partake of alone so you can figure out whether or not this is something that's stunting your growth. So yeah, thank you for joining me today for today's show. Thank you for the subscriptions, for people subscribing. Thank you for everybody who's watched, even if you haven't subscribed. And thank you for your kind comments. So leave your comments down below on what you think of today's show. And yeah, sometimes these questions that you leave in the comment section turn into a future show. So just think about that. Alrighty guys, have a great day. Peace.